All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach for the Spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to the men of the Lord, preaching and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. I want to say peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to all of you brothers. And I wanted to bring this out real quick because the Esau propaganda campaign it strikes again, and this is proof of what everything that we've been telling you, that the narrative has been switched with this whole vaccination thing, which is on the horizon, which is linked to this Crown Royal thing, which is got everybody bugged the hell out, to be honest. And when you notice how this whole thing started, it was China, all right, and then it was senior citizens, all right, and it's moved from Chinese people to senior citizens to now specifically Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is go in the news and Google the word that I can't mention, but the code word Crown Royal and minorities or something like that, or Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they'll straight up tell you. They're not pointing out Elam. They're not pointing out East Indians. They're not pointing out Moab and Ammon. They're not pointing out so-called Asian people. All right. They're pointing out you tribes, you Israelites. All right. And for those of you guys who don't think that the Northern Kingdom is here in America, that all of the tribes look like Negroes, well, you're going off, you know, and that's putting it politely, to be honest, because there's a ridiculous amount of evidence that shows uh, likewise. And the main thing that boosts your faith, that gives you the indicator of who we are, the reason how Negroes know who we are the curses. All right, because we look fairly similar to some of those Ethiopians and some of those other Hamites, depending on the type of Jake when you read the scriptures. So you have to look at the curses as well in context. All right, and the curses are heavily on our Northern Kingdom brothers. Issachar. Down to Zebulun, Asher, Naphtali, Ephraim, Manasseh. All right, all of the Spanish-speaking tribes, which are now grouped together as Latino, um, they follow the same thing, and you can tell here because Esau Edom is now targeting him. Now he's doing targeted campaigns. First he was saying Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now he's doing hit pieces, I like to call them, because Esau will try to guise it as a thing. I'm trying to help you. He tries, when you read the article, it sounds like he's being sympathetic, but really he's putting a giant target on your back. Because what is he saying? He's saying you are more susceptible. That means you're the spreader. Therefore, you need to get the cure. All right. And what is his so-called cure? It's going to bring nothing but death, And we won't mention what it is, but we know it's the talk of the town right now. But let's read this article. I'm going on rant already. It says hellish Crown Royal deaths have struck younger Latinos. Here's the economic social fallout. So you see how they pivoted from Chinese to senior citizens to Negro, Latino, and Native Americans to younger Latinos. All right. Well, we know damn well it's only killing less than half of 1% of people, and over 80% of those people are over the ages of 70 years old. But you have articles like this coming out. Why? Because Esau is about to get busy on this propaganda campaign, man. All right. And when you read it, it sounds like a lifetime story or some bullshit that tries to tug at people's heartstrings, and ultimately what that's going to turn into is strife and contention. People are going to be looking at you crazy, like, why aren't you wearing a mask? Why aren't you getting, vaccine? You're making it worse for all of us, and we're going to be, as the elder brought out in the Kansas City camp out here, get used to being get used to being the bad guy. This is how this whole thing. This is how this whole thing is connected, man. You know, and because we're dealing with the devil, he guises it up. He presents it to you as cake and ice cream, and it is straight up poison in it, man. And you jakes are eating it up, and if you don't repent and wake up to what the hell is going on, man. You're going to be caught in the snare of Esau Edom. Let's read a little bit of this. It says, Cisneros never wanted to be a husband or a dad, but 3 years ago he fell in love, married, and became a stepfather. So you see how he's painting this tragic, romantic Romeo and Juliet bullshit style story. You know, he says to give his new family a better life, Ray took steps to start his own graphic design business. He had planned for quality family time in 2020, including taking the kids to baseball games with their sister Tina. Uh, says in 2020, Crown Royal killed Ray. He was 35 years old when he died in July 27. So they're trying to paint the narrative of Latino and young, and pretty much Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and young. And who are they targeting? They want the young, vibrant Jakes, the true alpha males of society, which are the Hebrew Israelites. See, all you docile niggas who simps on OnlyFans, you Jakes, they ain't worried about y'all. Y'all niggas are dead asleep, and y'all gonna take the chip. Esau's got you. He's not worried about you. What he's really worried about are truly the Hebrew Israelites, the true alpha males of society. Now, there's some guys in this segment of the internet called Red Pill that are a little bit more aware, and there are pockets of it that's going to rebel up against this thing. And Esau's worried about them too, but he's mainly worried about men who have that truth, men who are going to die for this thing. All right? Men is going to look at a guillotine and still be like, fuck you. Call Halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Bashim Rakakwadash. That's what Esau is afraid of. All right? That's what this whole thing boils back down to. And so he's not worried about you simping ass niggas on the internet, man. He's not worried about you celebrities, because y'all niggas are far gone. A lot of you niggas took it up the ass. A lot of you are relying on your money, you know? And so who is left? It's the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who have not bowed to the image, you know? And the ones who are actively preaching against it for the downfall of this place. All right? It says here, within a matter of 3 weeks, Salaki. He says he was 35 years old when he died on July 27th. It says Crown Royal also killed his aunt and his grandfather, right? So he's saying 3 people. So within a matter of 3 weeks, we lost all of them. Tina Cisneros said it was hard to comprehend sometimes that all of this has happened. Now how rare is that, you know? But see, Esau cycled the same news article over and over and over again. And this is where he gets into the numbers. So he's saying, as of December 23rd, Crown Royal has killed more than 54,000 Latinos, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. All right. So he's painting it, man, you know, because 54,000 out of what they're claiming right now is 330,000. That's a pretty significant percentage, you know. That's about a fifth or a sixth of all of the deaths that he's attributing to one so-called ethnic group. All right. And pretty much this image right here, they all gonna be we're gonna be the demons of society, and the one, especially the ones standing up, you know, bucking against it. And a lot of you who are of our people, y'all are gonna crumble under the pressure of Esau Edom society, and y'all gonna portray us, the real men, the men who won't bow. Y'all gonna start giving niggas up. The pressure's gonna be too great. Just wear the mask. You know, just take the vaccine. Just take the chip. That's the type of rhetoric you're gonna start hearing from my own friends and family members. And it's sad to say, but you niggas is just gonna have to die. You know, those of you who are betraying the men of the Lord. Let me get a couple precepts because I've been going a little a minute here. This is Psalms 10. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." So this is a device that Esau has imagined. This has been a plan he's had the entire time. There's shows like Utopia that just straight up nailed it, like that girl that died, so-called died of that jab, or was it like they said it was like a twin or something like that, uh, or it could have been a twin, or like a double. Man, when you watch that show, Utopia, man, it's straight up right written in the script. There's a twin in that show that they pull a okey doke on all the people, man. They basically dupe everybody. you know, they had a twin the whole time and made her look like she was sick. Well, she was sick, all right, and then they had a twin who wasn't sick, all right. So the real twin died, and they brought out the other twin, making it look like she was cured, all to get the entire mass population on board with Maxine. You know, so Esau's telling you in this, these are devices that he's imagined. It's all in his storytelling and predictive programming. You know, you had Operation Dark Winter decades ago, and now he got this word mentioning in the news, Dark Winter again, coming out all of a sudden. You know, you have evidence of them talking about this last October 2019, running drills. And you have a suspiciously quick Maxine being developed in 10 times the amount of time. The average Maxine they take to develop is 10 years. They crank this one out in 10 months, and it's 95% effective. You know, and they seemingly have been able to make enough for the entire world within this year, this coming year. Because 2021 is going to be a year, man. That's going to be the year of trouble. And if you're not rooted in this thing, then there's a good chance all hell could break loose and we get the hell out of here and you get swept up in that. You know, let me go. Verse 3 says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth." All right, and the covetous are these guys, like Bill Gates. That guy's licking his chops, man. He's got a big fat contract, that big ridiculous stimulus bill that they passed, that they only gave you niggas $600 after starving you out for 6 months. Here you go. Here's some change, nigga. Basically, and in that same bill, Bill Gates has gotten a multi-billion-dollar funding for his company called Gavi. All right, and it's all a big racket. They're getting filthy rich off of you niggas. And that $2.3 trillion spending bill, the vast majority of that money went to the richest people, man. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. These guys are getting richer than ever, while the entire middle class has basically been wiped out. All the small businesses are wiped out. So this is them blessing the covetous, man. All right. It says the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. So this man is what the epitome of Satan. That's why he's called Satan. That's why he's called the wicked. He's not thinking about the Most High and all of this, man. He's a hungry, ravenous wolf with you jakes in his sight. And we, the men of the Lord, are acting as watchmen to warn you of these things. But we get called conspiracy theorists. We get scoffed at. Even by our own family. Brothers was giving testimonies this week about how their own family just being demons, man. Celebrating, they getting this holiday spirit, this bullshit, and that's why I don't even talk to my people like that. They ain't never been scoffing or nothing like that, man. But I just don't. My spirit, it ain't with them, man. I grew up in a Christian church for 20 years, man. They go through 10 or 15 scriptures. There were books of the Bible I hadn't even heard of until I came to the truth, and I was in the church for 20 years every day, and they still have not come out of it. So if you're in the church 40, 50 years, man, and the truth has been out there, there's more information than ever, the internet, and then the good chance are you just not gonna get it, Now you can pray, nothing wrong with praying for your family that they make it, but hey, at the end of the day, man, just be grateful that the Most High chose you to be able to receive this knowledge, because that's a sign that you could be chosen. All right. Anyway, you guys can read this whole chapter. I'm gonna skip over to Psalms 37 and 12. It says the wicked plotteth against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. All right, and that's ultimately what this is. That jab they want to stick you with, that's likened unto his teeth. This nigga straight up wants to take over your DNA, man. How demonic is that shit? They literally gonna make you a genetically modified Negro, and you're gonna be walking up the street, you know, you're gonna pass by a Taco Bell like, oh yeah, I think I do want some Taco Bell. You know, you just it's all that these chemicals. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can completely reprogram you, and this because this guy is off the chain, and he wants to be like the Most High. So this is another part of his teeth, this Maxine and that chip, which is imminent, which we know is coming. All right. But verse 13, it says, the Lord shall laugh at him. All right. For see that his day is coming. And Esau knows his day is coming. And that's why he's turning up so heavy. Look how quickly he turned 2020 on his head, man. One day you niggas was partying and bullshitting, planning on going out, barbecuing for Memorial Day, and Esau shut the whole goddamn world down. Not just America. Everything. He got you niggas riled up about George Floyd turning up just to rile up your animosity just so you guys can get more in that rebellious spirit, and he can have an excuse to jack the numbers up on you. And now look at it. Come November, it's at a record high again after he said it'd be gone. This guy is making a major move, okay? And the beast is getting ready to show his teeth, all right? Verse 14, it says, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and the needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. And that's what I meant, the men of the Lord, especially the guys pushing the truth. That's what we have to prepare our minds for. This is what Edom wants to do. Because this word is coming out. This is the upright conversation. He's not as concerned about guys who are on the fence or guys who are quiet or worse, the guys who are just simps, you know, who are complete weak and will fold. He's not worried about them. He's worried about us. And that's where he's got his bow bent. So that we're the ones that are going to get the brunt of this attack, I should say. You know, not to get too much off subject, but you know, the spirit go where it goes, man. You know, but you can look at this right here. It says a mortal strike on younger Latinos. It has been a hellish year. I don't even know a nigga who died with this shit, man. My year was hell because of what Esau Edom did. You know, I lost my job because he shut down, you know, the economy. It had nothing to do with the physical element, but it's what he did, shutting down these small businesses. What he's doing is squeezing you jakes out. He knows the people who can afford to have the economy shut down the least are you jakes, and that's what he's doing. He's squeezing you out. He's making you desperate. He's riling up your spirit with things like George Floyd and constant propaganda in the news and the media. All right, that's what's going on. But it's all rooted in folly and witchcraft and deceit and lies, really. When you look at the percentage, even he will admit over 99.9% of people survive. You know, but look at the damage and chaos that it's caused. You got bitches looking at me with a mask on, judging me proud as hell with a mask on, wearing a mask outside like a fucking idiot. Excuse my French. Shalakia. But this has to be said, man. Because these are our people that we're talking about, you know? And if you don't think he's coming for the Latinos and Native Americans, you're sorely mistaken because he knows who we are in totality. It ain't just so-called black people, all right? He's coming for you tribes, is all you tribes, you northern tribes as well. I'm going to cut this short. Let me get a couple more precepts. This is Psalm 36 and 2 says, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found hateful. All right, so in the news, you see this big circle jerk of virtue signaling. We got to do the right thing for this, all new and that. But now these Edomites are starting to see through it. You know, they're starting to see through it on the news. If you pull up the news on YouTube and see what all those things are rated, it's very very low rated videos, man. It's 33% likes, 20% likes, and nobody trusts the media, and everybody's getting their news from YouTube. And that's why the men of the Lord on YouTube face so much pressure, because they know that this is where everybody is getting informed. Okay. And it's a blessing that the Most High allowed YouTube to be available, because to be honest, that's how I came into the truth. I wouldn't have ran into uh, Jake on the corner walking out. I don't go out like that much, and the time that I do, just a very low chance I would have ran into him. YouTube is the medium where I first came into it. I first started getting into it, where you can just watch video after video after video. you know, you couldn't get that, man. Going out every Saturday. So YouTube has exploded this thing, and Esau knows that. All right. Verse 3, it says, the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed, and setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. All right. Why? Because you could be a transgender, and you can raise a whole bunch of kids. You can spread around AIDS. All right, a guy, if he lives in the right parts of the United States, he can pop his own dog, and there's no consequences for that. A woman can cheat on her man, you know, kick him out of the house. She keep the kids and then charge him half of his salary, because this man he doesn't hate evil, and these are evil things. OnlyFans, this is wickedness. This cannot be sustained in a society that is going to produce life in a healthy way, man. And ultimately, this place is just a giant example of how not to live, and how you cause mass death, really. you know, that's what this thing is. Last piece I'm gonna bring out. This is Job 15:34. It says, "For the congregation of the hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery." All right, because that's what they're going into, man. Paying you off. They're gonna offer you $1,000. Then they're gonna beg and try to make you feel bad. They're gonna try to guilt you. All right. And they say you want to buy groceries, you got to get the chip. You got to be vaccinated. Got to have your pass. It says for the congregation of the hypocrites shall be desolate. And Esau Edom is the biggest goddamn hypocrite on the planet Earth, man. And fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. All right, because that's what this is, man. It's a giant bribe. These other nations, they come over here to get rich, and come to find out the dollar ain't worth the goddamn money, that paper that it's printed on. It's all a big Ponzi scheme. It's all witchcraft. You can't actually own anything in America. you know. Verse 15, Salakia, Job 15:35 says they conceive mischief. All right, they conceive mischief, meaning they bring it forth, and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. So that is the foundation. That's the legacy of so-called white people, Esau, Edom, of America, of Babylon the Great, however you want to call it. And nothing has changed, especially now. So when you see articles like this, brothers, that's what you have to realize. All right? When you see headlines like this, that's what you have to understand. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. So with that, hopefully y'all brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash, Shalom, Wa Abad Babal.